Cool. So today we're going to cover 4 tips that you can implement in your Google Ads account right this second to improve performance and just essentially get better results. I'm here with Mr. Dean, who is our head of account management at Paid House Media, and he's going to walk you through each of these tips so that you can come away with this video with things that you can action straight away. So Dean, let's jump into it.
Great. Thanks for having me, George. Let me just share my screen and share it with everyone what we have
Dean's
for
also
today.
recovering from a cold at the moment, by the way, so it's worth mentioning.
Alrighty. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Can indeed. Let's go.
Okay, excellent. So the number one tip that I have for you guys that it's going to be super useful when you log in into your Google Ads account every day is going to be setting up 2 things. Number one is you can go to the section of modify columns. And by default, sometimes Google will have these show recommended columns in table. I usually just turn it off because it just adds things that I don't really care about. And you can just build your own set of columns with the things that you want to look into. So, for example, we want to look at clicks, impressions, CPC costs, so you can get an idea on what's going on with the traffic. Then on the attributes, you want to look into the bid strategy types, you know what bid strategy is being used on that campaign. And if you want, you can also add target CPA or target ROAS so that you can see, oh, this campaign is currently using this as a target, and you can change it straight from the campaign table view as opposed to going into the campaign settings. So it just comes very handy. Then on the competitive metrics, usually search impression share can give you an idea as well, not so much when using smart bidding, but sometimes it just gives you a good idea. And then last one, just like click share, out of all the impression share, how many clicks are you getting? And then the next thing is going to be regarding conversions. So remember that there are 2 types of conversions, especially on accounts that have conversion lag, like e-com accounts. Conversions will tell you the conversions when the click happened. So in the time period that you're looking at, let's say in this week, you will only be seeing conversions that happen during that week of people that click during that week. But when you're seeing buy time metrics like this one that says buy conversion time, you will be seeing people that converted during that week, even if the click happened last week. So that's something important to know because sometimes the number can differ a lot. Not on all accounts, but on some accounts you will notice a significant difference. So when you want to get the most up-to-date information, the buy time metric will be the number to use. So in this scenario, we're going to add conversions, conversion value, and value by conversion so you can get the AOV. And then the last thing is going to be add your custom columns. We have a few custom columns created. I'm going to show you in a bit how to create it. But I just want to show you first how to save this custom column set so that you can store it. So this, for example, we're going to see ROAS, conversion rate, and CPA. And this one you can call it, let's say, metrics or whatever you want to call it. Then you just click on save and apply. And then basically every single day that you log into the account, you're going to see a list of the custom column sets. And then you can just open whichever column set you want to look into. By default, you won't have any besides just modify columns and custom. That's what you usually will have. But then that way you don't need to recreate these. You don't need to be adding columns every single day. And it's just very easy.
And Dean, before we move on to the next tip, when you first log into a Google account, because I know you're obviously managing a fair few of us for us at this point, what is the first thing that your eyes are drawn to? What are the columns that you look to straight away?
So number one is cost. That would be the first column that I look into because if you're not spending, then nothing else will matter.
And if you're overspending as well, it's a problem.
Right, right, exactly. So number one is spend. What is the spend like regarding the daily budget? Are we overspending? Is it not spending at all? Then the number 2 thing is going to be in-app metrics, like just looking at the ROAS in-app. How is that looking? How is the conversion value, like revenue looking? And then that's usually what I do. Like start with cost, move on to conversion metrics. How is that performing? And then if you cannot figure it out, oh, why is this happening? Then we can start looking into soft metrics. So for example, we say, oh, you know what? The cost per click just went through the roof. Like we just started paying too much per click. So we only got 10 clicks in this week. How am I going to expect a sale in such little amount of traffic, right? So usually I start that way, cost, conversions, and then move on to the soft metrics to understand if there are any other reasons on why the performance could be that way.
Mm.
So that is regarding the custom column preset, the column preset or column set. Now regarding custom columns, there are a few, the ones that I like the most are the following. Number one is you go here under the custom column section, and we're gonna create one that's called ROAS. You can call it by time, you can call it time adjusted, however you want to call it. And then the metric is basically conversion. The default metric that you're gonna look into the ad account is using the clicks number. So this is gonna be using the time when the conversion happened. So it's gonna be conversion value by conversion time, which is the same as conversion value by cost, which is the column that comes default by Google. And then you just divide it by cost, and you have two ways of looking at it. If you prefer number, you can look at it as a number, or if you prefer percentage, then you can look at it as a percentage. And then once you save it, you're gonna have, this is an example, I'm not gonna do it because I already have one, but this is the one that I have, and I like to look at it as a percentage. And then at the end, you're gonna get, and you can put it side by side. I'm gonna give an example in a bit, side by side with your conversion value by cost default column that comes from Google to see how they differ. Now, the second one that I like to create is the conversion rate, time adjusted, because the same way ROAS, the conversion value by cost, is just by click, we can also do the same with conversion rate, and we can take the clicks, which the clicks won't change, and then you just take the conversions by conversion time divided by the clicks, and that gives you the conversion rate by time. So you can also get a more accurate representation of what's happening in that time. And this one is a percentage conversion rate. That percentage cannot be looked at as a number. And yeah, it's basically very simple formula, as you can see. And then the last formula I looked at is CPA time adjusted. So this one, we just take on the cost, and then we just divide it by the conversions by conversion time, and then that will give us the CPA. This one, I prefer to just look at it as a money or money data format, because it's how much is costing me a conversion. And this can give you, like very simple, but very useful as well to see if you're heading in the right direction based on the numbers that you should be hitting on that account. So that is regarding custom columns and then custom presets. Now, the last column that I'm going to show you, and we're going to create it at this moment, is going to be profit. So this one will vary based on account. We can call it gross profit because it's not going to be like 100% accurate. That's important to note, but it can give you an idea based on your numbers, how is the account performing. So the way this one's going to work is you're going to take on conversion value by conversion time, so you can get the same number that you're going to be using on the other custom columns. And then you multiply it by the margin. So for example, let's say we have 40% margin. So we multiply that value for a 0.04. Just going to put it on here. And then we're going to subtract the cost. So that way we say, okay, out of the revenue that Google is reporting, how much of that revenue, based on my margins, is gross profit? And then we're going to divide the cost so that we can get, okay, is this campaign making money or is it not making money?
Yeah.
And this one, again, can also be either a number or it can be a money amount. So then we just hit save. Okay, perfect. So the next tip that I have for you guys is going to be replicating changes. You make a change on the Google web version, and then you just replicate it on the Google Ads editor. So for example, let's say I want to add a location, and I just wanted to make it super easy and just roll it against all my other campaigns. So you just add, let's say, the location on that one campaign, you save it, then you go to Google Ads Editor, you get recent changes, so you get the latest change. It's gonna take a few seconds just to download. And then once you have it downloaded, then you can just go ahead and replicate that change. So for example, we made that change on the search inbound. We go here on locations. You will see it's gonna show up in green, the change that you made. And then you just copy, select the other campaigns, and you paste it. And I'm just gonna remove this one. And then you'll see how the change that you made just replicated across all of this, and then you just hit post, and then you're done. Or you could even like be at this level, and you just say campaign level, select all your campaigns, and then you just start adding right from here. That could also be another option. But sometimes, you know, there is specific location, either radius or something, or products that you want to know have specifically that structure, like specifically when filtering out products with custom labels or something like that, then it's going to be super easy to just replicate those changes.
And how often do you use the Google Ads Editor? Just in
I use
day
it
to day?
daily,
Yeah.
day to day. Day to day, I use it to make changes. I use it to create campaigns. That just comes very handy. Sometimes it doesn't do as well when working with Performance Max or video campaigns. It just doesn't perform as well. Still doesn't have those like full capabilities. But you know, at least for like full changes and trying to get you up to speed to things, it's just very easy. And for like search and shopping, it still works really, really well.
Awesome.
All right, then the last tip that I have for you guys is going to be regarding Performance Max. I actually have two more. So
You do.
I do have the following. Number one is when you go to your Performance Max campaign and you go to the campaign settings, you're going to see an option that's called Customer Acquisition option. Now, there are two ways of doing new customer acquisition on Performance Max. You have bid higher for new customers, which is the recommended way by Google, or you can only bid for new customers. Now, remember that because the match rates have been declining over the last few years, like even if you upload your customer list, if you keep your customer list refreshed, it's not going to be 100% accurate, and you won't be able to exclude 100% of your customers. But at least you can get a very good exclusion, let's say, call it 50% if you want it, of your entire customer that base, and you can exclude them, and it's just going to be getting colder, which is what we're looking for when we're trying to grow a business, right? So for the bid higher for new customers, I do not like to use this feature because you need to set an inflated value that is not a real value. And then when you're looking at revenue, when you're looking at ROAS, in-app metrics, it's not real money. It's just a number. So that's the reason why I do not like to use that. But you can still get the benefit of this feature by just saying only bid for new customers. And because the match rate is not 100%, then you know that will still bid for existing customers. So it's not that you will exclude them 100%. But this way you assure there are no inflated values going on, your ROAS is not messed up, your revenue is not messed up in-app, so you can continue to get accurate metrics. Now, before you see this option show up, which is now available as well on shopping campaigns, both PMax and shopping have the option, you just go on to the gold section, and then customer lifecycle optimization, you will see here, add audience segments of current customers to help us identify new customers. So you need to add the audience segments of the new customers that you created, and that way you will be able to exclude them and use the only bid for new customers acquisition feature without adding that extra value. So that was the tip that I had for you in that sense. Do not use inflated value. It's just going to mess up your numbers, and it's not going to be good for you. And then the last thing is going to be regarding search terms for Performance Max. Now, not all accounts might have it yet, so you need to check if you have it or not. So For example, I'm going to switch accounts because not the account that I was on before is not available yet. Google is rolling out that feature slowly, but in the ones that do, you just go on to the insights and reports section and you will find the search terms option. Just make sure that you're under your Performance Max campaigns, and that way you will be able to see all the search terms that your Performance Max campaigns are showing up for. So, you can start doing your regular search term optimization. You can just go through them, and if they don't work for your business, you just click on add as a negative keyword. Now, Google hasn't enabled yet the feature to do negative keyword lists on Performance Max, so you will have to add it at the campaign level. My recommendation is, because there is a limit on to how many negative keywords you can add on Performance Max, you can take advantage of using phrase variations of those negatives. So for example, if you want to exclude like how to, just put it on quotes. So you apply the phrase match on that, and that way you can just keep cleaning up your traffic on your Performance Max, which will apply to both search and shopping. And yeah, those are the tips that I had for you today.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Dean. That was super insightful. Hopefully you guys can take one of those tips away and implement them straight away to straight up get better results. Now, if you are interested in having us come in and actually, save you the trouble of managing Google and having us doing it for you, you can click the link in the description. We also help with meta ads as well. And other than that, please like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any ideas of things that you want us to cover in Google Ads, meta ads, whatever else it is. But Dean, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks, George. See you, everyone.